Can you hear me okay,
Yep.
everybody? Okay. Well, I'm Dave Kiddy. A little bit about myself. I have been in North Carolina since 2003, having come here from Michigan on a corporate job and worked for a pharmaceutical company in High Point. And when I left that after about 3 years, my wife and I said, you know, we love it here. And I said, I will do something to keep us here. So I started looking around and ended up, after maybe 6 months or so, I started real estate investment business. I went to seminar, and they recommend that, you know, find your local REIA, because we were all newbies at that seminar. And I came home and there was not a local REIA. I did hear about a couple of people who were gathering infrequently for lunch. I found them, and several months later, about 8 of us started Triad REIA. So I was one of the, I'll say, the charter board member. And then I also was president during that first year and for the first 7 years of Triad REIA's existence. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And that was from 2007 for 7 years. I stayed on the board 1 more year. So I am very, very, very familiar with Triad REIA. And in just listening to Tyler's walkthrough, this is pretty much the sort of the format that we had established, and over time that evolved. I have
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Dave.
When I was doing this, we met every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I facilitated the meetings in Greensboro, occasionally in Winston, and always did the Thursday night meetings. So I've had a lot of interaction with Triad REIA, all of the members, the different support group that is part of it in our membership. I will tell you, I learned so much. I was a newbie. I'm not sure, maybe because of my business experience and background, they asked me to be president of the REIA, but I didn't know much at all about real estate investing. I had bought a couple of properties, but from the people I met in the REIA and continuing to invest in my education, I think I figured it out. And I'm still here now 14 years later, still investing. I have several companies. I'm going to share some of that with you. I've got an LLC that holds and owns my portfolio of rental properties. I have another company, Clearbrook Management, which you see on this page, which is sort of my public face. I've got a Facebook page, and pretty much present myself to the world as Clearbrook. I've done a number of things, and I've also started a new business recently, and I'll get into that at the end of my presentation. So with that, now you know who I am, a little bit about where I've been, and I live up here in Oak Ridge and love it here. Just love the Triad, and I invest exclusively in the Triad. I own properties and show you some of the things that I do. All of things that I do are in the Triad. I own properties, I have flipped properties, I've done coaching and different investment projects myself with partners, other Triad REIA members over the years, Greensboro, High Point, Winston, and all points around. What I was asked to do because of the shutdown, Shailene contacted me because I was posting on Facebook and doing some things showing that were just normal updates, and I had a lot of things going on. And she called and asked if I would share how I've stayed productive and so active when things have shut down and most people are doing very little, if anything, in real estate. So I'm happy to do that. I hadn't spoken here in probably more than a year. So I'm happy to come back and talk to y'all. I started many years ago to develop my business with multiple revenue sources or multiple streams of income. And that has been key to get through any time of change in our economy. You can see what I do here. I own rental properties. I've got a portfolio. I do flips, do a few a year. I do wholesales, did one recently. Occasionally, I'll do some work for somebody else, but not very often. So when I say contract handyman work, I'm going to show you a slide of something we've done. I don't do a lot of it, but we've done something recently. And everything I'm talking about here are things that I have done since January 1st. So this is sort of a 2020 year to date, which my title slide says. And I'll walk you through all these other things. I sell properties. When I do sell property, I do some of it seller financing, which of course continues a stream of income. I am a private lender at times, either partnering or being the bank for other investors. I have a real estate agency. I like to tell people I'm Alan Tate. I own the company, but I'm not the realtor, nor do I want to be. My son has his real estate license and it's held by Clearbrook. So when I'm selling property, we put something on MLS. I'm going to pay a commission. Why not pay me? So Clearbrook is paid, when we either buy or sell, and sometimes we'll represent other investors or friends or whoever. So we earn commissions as any realtor were, and I happen to own the company. And then Superior Outdoor Spaces is my new business, and I'll share and show you some of the things I'm doing there as well. But from the beginning of the year, some of the things that we've been involved with, any of you that have rental properties know that whenever somebody moves out, there's a turnover involved that could be anything from cleaning something to almost doing a gut job if the property was not maintained. And unfortunately, from time to time, somebody will trash an apartment or a house. I've had this particular property that I'm mentioning here. It was a Greensboro 3-bedroom, 2-bath rental house. Had a long-term tenant. Well, I've had several tenants that have been there anywhere from 3 to 5 years over the years. This was a lady who was a single mom, remarried, moved out, and I was very happy for her. And turning that over, though, she kept the property in really good condition. Probably the best turnover that any tenant has left a property for me. But we freshened it up. She'd been in there, I think, 3+ years. So we painted everything on the inside. I did some upgrades that I really didn't have to do, but I chose to do. Replaced vinyl floors with LVT, the luxury vinyl tile. I'll show you some of that and we'll talk about it. We put that in the kitchen and dining rooms and a couple of bathrooms. There was a stand-up shower in one of the bathrooms we replaced. We put countertops and did some landscaping. I think curb appeal is really important. And on all of my slides, you're going to see it. The last thing that I did is cleaning. And I can't stress enough to you that you find a good professional cleaner. Lots of people are out there. This is very affordable. And in my opinion, if you want to turn something quickly, I don't care if it's a rental property or you're going to flip a house, it needs to be clean. It's telling people that you care and that you do things well. And if somebody comes in and there's dirt, they're going to wonder what else isn't really up to snuff here. So cleaning is very affordable and it needs to be done well each and every time you do anything with property. Here's the house I'm talking about. It's a 3-2. It's over on the east side of Greensboro in the Huffine Mill Road area, sort of by UNCG, over down East Wendover, maybe about a mile from there. A few years ago, we had the tornado go through this neighborhood, so the roof is only a couple of years old. When we did the roof, we did some other upgrades outside. And when I turned this one, I tore out all the shrubs, killed all the grass, and this is a picture taken in the spring where that grass is just starting to come up. But I improved the curb appeal on this house. A very minor expense, but it just makes it look so much better. Here's the kitchen before You see the floor, that's an old, just sort of a tile floor. Pretty drab, if you will. Countertop was old. It was all there when I bought it. And here's the new floor I put in and new countertops. This is LVT flooring. I use that as on my rentals. I'm trying to get every property with this flooring in it. So as I have turnovers, probably 90% of the time, I'm taking out what was there and putting on this luxury vinyl tile. This is just a composite countertop, new sink and faucets, but this room really pops now. Again, cleaning job, paint, and this flooring is really pretty much the big things that I did here. In my rental portfolio, I have both single family homes and some apartments. I've owned 2 apartment complexes in my career. One of them I sold probably 3 years ago. The one I still own is in High Point. There are 6 apartments. There's brick. All the apartments are 3-bed, 1-bath. They're 1,000 square feet. In turning over 2 apartments since January, and pretty much one back to back, both of them were completely painted with tenants having moved out. New subfloor where we needed it, and LVT flooring put in. One of the units needed to be upgraded with the plumbing. The other I had done previously, but this one, there was some of the old gray polybutylene piping in there, and those aren't great, and you can't even use them anymore, and they develop pinholes and they leak, and the connections are not reliable. So of my apartments, I believe I've got all 6 units now turned over with the PEX plumbing. We've done electrical upgrades. I've upgraded kitchens as needed, and I did put a brand new kitchen in, I think, one, if not both of these units, and then a good thorough cleaning when we were done. Here you'll see pretty much that same floor you saw on that 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I also use the same paint colors time and time again. That way there's no waste. When I'm done painting this one, anything that's left over gets used on the next one. Grays have been popular for several years. I've used a popular gray as this particular color, and I've used that, I bet I've been using that for 5 years or more. Before I got into this gray, and I've used different shades, but I've sort of settled on this one. It was beige was popular, and a Killam beige was the color that I put on walls all the time. But in this case, I've used an eggshell on the walls. For rental properties, I probably don't have to do that, but an eggshell paint can be washed. A flat paint cannot. You try to wash a smudge off a wall, and you get a bigger smudge when you've tried to wipe it down. So I find the eggshell paint to be my preference, and I use a semi-gloss white and just flat ceiling paint in closets and on ceilings. You can see in the kitchen here, new countertops. I did not put new cabinets in this one, but I did put new countertops on, and looks pretty. I think looks pretty good. Here's another angle, that narrow on the left down the living room. It's really much larger than that. And then this is the other kitchen of the second apartment, where I did put all new cabinets, put this countertop on, new sink, new faucets, etc. I like them to look nice. This property is not in the greatest of neighborhoods in High Point, but I feel I probably got the best property. I'm proud of every home that I own and rent. I would live in any property that I own, and I try to maintain and turn my stuff over to a quality that I would be proud to be in and share with others. I may not want to live there, but I would if I needed to. And that's sort of just my overall approach on quality. I probably spend a little bit more than most people do. I try not to do just good enough. I try to do things to where it's right for me. And, but again, I'm not afraid to make a property look great because I will charge and get a premium rent when I do that. So I'm usually with all of my properties at the top of the range on the scale of rentals in the areas. Here's where I bought a new rental property. I actually put this under contract sometime between Christmas and Thanksgiving, but we didn't start to work on it till the new year and the holidays were over. This was a purchase from a tired landlord, which is a great source of properties for any of you investors. The folks that own this house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Greensboro, it's just a couple of blocks away from that first one I showed you, that 3-2. So I knew the neighborhood. I knew, this is where the tornado went through on the east side of Greensboro. But I bought this house, and it was pretty much a do-over completely on the inside in particular. These people owned the house when they were first married 20 plus years ago, outgrew the home, but kept this as a rental property for themselves. And things went well for a while, but probably for the last 3 or 4 years, they just had a nightmare experience. And one piece of advice I will give you, which is really where these people ran into problems, is they rented the house to a friend, somebody they knew from church. And I have some rules of thumb that I try to follow. I don't do business with friends or family. I value the relationships more than I do whatever money I might make, because ultimately there's going to be issues. Sometimes, minor issues, but why I don't want to stress a relationship with a friend or a family member. So that's just something I don't do. And these people did. They hadn't been paid in 10 months. And the property it was a disaster. I'm not showing you before pictures, but this was about a gut job. Look at all the things that I did here. We replaced all the windows. That was an upgrade. All the interior doors and all of the hardware, hinges, doorknobs, etc. I put all new lighting in. We upgraded all the electrical and plumbing. The kitchen I gutted. We put in new cabinets, countertops, and I bought new appliances. Now, I bought good used refrigerator good used stove and a new refrigerator for this particular house. It looked great when we were done. Bathrooms, basically tore that apart. We even tore the flooring out, and we replumbed underneath the house and in the walls. I'm going to show you a picture of the tub. I don't know if any of you have ever reglazed the tub. Tubs can get nasty. And if it's a vinyl structure or fiberglass, they're easy to take out. This one happened to be a cast iron tub, and it would have cost quite a bit of money to have it removed. And it would have had to been cut up to get it out of the bathroom. I found it to be much more affordable to refinish the tub, and you'll see some pictures here in a minute. New flooring. This one I did not put the LVT in. This has hardwood floors underneath carpet that was there. Their pets had ruined not only the floor, but the pet urine and things had seeped through, and really there were huge black spots on the wood floors in the bedroom, hallway, living room, both bedrooms actually. I had 5 projects I was working on at this time when I did this house. For, I'll say, economic reasons, I chose to put in carpet and vinyl to just keep my expenses down. I did a lot of upgrades, but the flooring I chose to not do what I normally would have done, which would have been to refinish the hardwood floors and put LVT in the bathroom and the kitchens. But again, I had 5 projects going on at one time. And so, money doesn't grow on trees. And so I chose on this particular feature to put in new carpet and new vinyl, and it all looks great. Another thing I like to do, again, it helps me get top dollar rent. And when I flip a house, this is extremely important. I put ceiling fans with lights in the master bedrooms. I usually do the same in the living room. This particular rental house, I did not do that, but I did put a ceiling fan, and that took some, wiring. I had the electrician in there, so I had him wire it appropriately. On the outside, we didn't do a whole lot, but what we did really gave it some good curb appeal, and I'll show you a little bit of before and after and point out some of the things we did. And once again, very thorough cleaning when we were done. There's a picture of the house, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The roof, probably 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 years old. The HVAC unit, about the same. So I didn't have to spend anything on that. I did have them thoroughly inspected. I built a new porch and stairs. This porch is concrete, as were the stairs. There was, old metal railing on the sides. There was nothing up the stairs, just on the sides of the porch. And they were very loose and wobbly. But the stairs were not even. Had I put a Section 8 tenant in this house, or wanted to, it would not have passed a Section 8 inspection because the steps there were 3 steps where now I have 4. They were not equal distance when you stepped up or down. And the bottom step was pretty crooked. So this was pretty easy. That was done in a day. Also tore out some shrubs, new shutters, actually not new shutters. We'd have new replacement windows. We painted the shutters, I think on this one. I painted a new front door and a new storm door. Again, the house was old and had not been maintained. So we just took it all out and reframed it and put in new. Here's that tub I was talking about. Pretty gross. On the right, that's how it was when I came in. Now, people have been living in this house, and I'm talking about for a couple of years. That water's been laying in that tub a long time. It's rusty, it's gross. And look at the mold on top of the tub and where the surround is. Once I got my plumber in and we drained this thing, that's what it looked like on the left. Because this was cast iron, I have reglazed tubs numerous times, and I don't hesitate to do it. Cost me about $600. If I would have bought a new tub, it would have been, hundreds of dollars plus many more hundreds of dollars to have had it installed. This bathroom's not real big. It was tight working space. We did open up all the walls, replumbed everything behind in the walls and in the floor. And there's what it looked like when we finished. That's the same tub.
Wow, that looks amazing.
Yeah, and that's like $650. Okay, it's new faucets, new tub surround, which is $150 or so from Lowe's, Home Depot. That's brand new. And then you see we put new vanity. You see that's a new replacement window. But you see again the new flooring, that's just vinyl. I put a new toilet in, mirror and lights. That's not expensive stuff to do. But man, it looks like $1 million. And again, I'm getting top rent on this house. This little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, I'm getting $850 a month. Okay. That's worth spending a couple of extra bucks in making it the way I like to make my houses. I did a flip this spring. Matter of fact, I was working on it while I was working on both these apartments and the 2 houses I showed you, which is why I didn't refinish the hardwoods on that last house. But this was a 1.5 brick ranch. It happens to be one of my rental properties. I rarely sell a rental property. I'm a buy and hold guy on the rental side. However, I told you I had 5 projects going on. The housing market is a seller's market. When this person moved out and she and her son were in the house when I bought it about 4 years ago. They moved out, and the market was such, and I thought, man, now's a great time to sell a house like this. It's affordable. It's in the price range that everybody's, most people, everybody just about can afford a house like this. If you have a house, 150, even under $200,000, it's going to sell, and it's going to sell quickly. And again, do a decent job with it. Again, you want to get top dollar. I'm going to tell you a little bit more when I show you the pictures, how this sale went down. But again, one of my rentals, what did I do? I painted it. I put a new hot water heater in, all new lighting throughout the house. I only had the electrician. There was no ceiling light or smoke detector in the kitchen. And the smoke detectors that were in the house were hardwired. So I had the electrician wire the kitchen for a new hardwire smoke detector, and we put new lighting in there as well. The flooring here, again, I did carpet and vinyl, which is not what I usually do, but I knew I didn't have to sell this house. I put in new, took out the old carpet, took out the old vinyl, which had been, I don't know how many years old. Again, I owned the house 4 years, and it had a tenant in it. So I don't know how old it was when it first went in. But we did those things. Now, because I flip, I sit here in the kitchen, new stainless steel appliances. When I flip a house, I always put in stainless steel appliances. This house was listed for less than $100,000. I still put stainless steel appliances in it. I sold this well over asking price, and I had multiple offers in one day. We put this on MLS on a Thursday night, about 10:30. By end of day Friday, we had 6 showings and 6 written offers. I think I had 8 showings and 6 written offers. We let it go over Saturday. We told everybody, because I had the offers, submit final and best offers by Monday at 5 o'clock. My low final offer, my lowest was 2 offers at full ask, up to 12% over asking, but I didn't take that one. I took one that was a cash buyer that was a little over 5% above my asking price, cash, no inspections, no warranties, no nothing. So I took the cash offer. It was a company that didn't even look at the house. It was an LLC out of South Carolina. The realtor was in Georgia, or was in Charlotte, and the closing attorney was in Charlotte, but they're based in Georgia. What I believe is happening here, and last 2 flips I've done, LLCs have bought the houses sight unseen, but they have clients who have seen the property. They buy it, and they do a lease with option to buy with those people. Now I'm selling it for what I wanted and more, and with a lease option program that I believe is in place both with this house and the one I did a year ago in Winston-Salem. Those companies never even saw the house, paid me, in this case, 5% plus over asking, and they never did an inspection. They didn't ask for any warranties of any kind. Fast close, cash, sweet. Okay. It's great.
It's hard to turn down an offer like that.
No. I'll take cash over the one that was, 12% over ask was an FHA loan. Mm-hmm. Those are always take a little bit longer in the inspections. I'll say the punch list that they're going to give you after inspections that they want done. They get nitpicky. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to mess with it. Now, had that been my only offer, I'd have taken it. I would have had to probably wait 6 to 8 weeks to close. I closed for cash in 3 weeks on this one.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But here's the house moved out. The people, I give them credit, they put their trash out at the street. Inside was, for the most part, empty. But outside, you look at the left and the right, you see we tore out the shrubbery that was there. They had like old, the shutters were old and they were sort of a rust colored. We put up new shutters, just cleaned the windows. They were older replacement windows, but they were replacement windows probably 8 to 10 years ago. I trimmed up limbs off the tree, raised the canopy on the tree. There was other trees that you can't really see in the corner right of that house. There was all kinds of scrubby stuff growing up that went above the roof of the house. Tore all that stuff up just to clean up the front yard, and then just put some inexpensive shrubs out front. And I think that's a knockout rose bush on the left there, and some pine straw. That's very inexpensive, very inexpensive. And the house looks good. It's got good curb appeal. Here's what it looked like inside. Again, we put new carpet in the bedrooms, living room, and hallway. This had 3 bedrooms. Had one, let's see, this house had 1.5 baths, I recall. That bathtub, again, that's a glaze and a new surround from Lowe's. So, for less than $1,000, it looks like I have a new bathroom. The sink, that was the existing top. I put on, new faucets. We put up new lighting. I hung a mirror. That was a mirror I took out of, I had 2 of those. And this was a 1.5 bath house. It was a golden looking. I took it out of another house that I had bought that I forget if it was a flip or a rental. But sometimes when you buy a property, it's got stuff in there that can be reused or salvaged. We just put a coat of black paint on this, and it really makes the room pop. Again, with that gray paint, I use stainless, the brushed nickel, on my faucets, my lighting, and shower hardware, etc. Very, very inexpensive stuff at Lowe's. But again, you look at my gray, you look at my white trim, that carpet is not a real high-grade carpet. I use Got You Floored for most of my flooring. They do a great job for me and have for years. The ceiling fan was in this house. We just cleaned it. You can barely see it in the picture on the left. But had there not been one, I would have put a new ceiling fan up there. We did put a new ceiling fan in the master bedroom in this house. I've also, since the first of the year, done a wholesale. This is a house that was, I bought with, multiple exit strategies is what you always want as an investor when you buy a house. I could have wholesaled it, which I ultimately did. But when I bought it, I also knew I could keep it as a rental or I could flip it. I bought this while we were working on that last one that I told you I had 6 offers up to 12% over ask. I was going to finish that job and then just do some painting, some new flooring. I'd have probably spent no more than $8,000 in this house, including landscaping. But I was talking with another individual who had done some investing, had shared with me that they had just sold a townhouse their son had lived in, and they wanted to reinvest. Well, I had this under contract, and I was just about to start fixing it up, originally thinking I was going to add it to my rental portfolio because I just sold one. I wanted to replace it. But then I made so much profit on that flip of that house, I thought, hell, I'm going to flip this one too. And then in talking to this other investor, I said, well, I've got something. Long story short, I did a wholesale on this. I sort of coached them on what I thought should be done. They weren't normally doing this. They have had a couple of properties over the years, but they weren't really active investors. Told them what I thought they should do. They did it. I made $9,000 on a wholesale in a matter of about a week. They've got it painted, did some of the things I suggested. They've got a lot of cash offers. It's in a neighborhood. They're getting a large Hispanic interest in this particular property in the neighborhood that it's at. This happens to be in High Point, by the way. And they're getting basically a lot of cash offers from the Hispanic community. And they'll probably get something, I think, in the low 90s. They're probably going to make, I sold it to them for 57. They're going to get, they probably put less than 10 in it, and they'll probably sell it around 90. So, hey, I made $9,000. They're going to make even more. That's win-win. And the people that are going to get the house have got a nice little 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch.
Heck yeah, that's win-win-win.
Absolutely. And that's how business should be done.
Yep. Give you a heads up. We got about 9 minutes left.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Got it. Now, I don't do much of this, but occasionally I'll do repair work for another party. This house, I will tell you, the gentleman on the porch is the homeowner. He chose the colors, not me. That house was gray. It's the old asbestos shingles. It was gray with a white foundation. We put in all new replacement windows, put up new the shutters. We painted the foundation and the porch, and we put up the railings on the porch. And that post over his covered porch on the left side of the stairs, right to his right, that wasn't there. It was a covered porch with only posts in the corner. So we reinforced that better than it was. And we did this for him. I don't do this often, but we did it. I happen to know this guy. He's in a business networking group with me. He asked me if I would look at his home, and we did. And so we did everything I just mentioned. But I don't do a lot of that, but I did do it this spring. Here's some other things I do. And these are fun because basically what I do is cash checks. I do private lending. I also have sold houses with seller financing. And what that gets me is checks in the mail every month that I just have to cash. I like that. I also mentioned earlier that I have a real estate license with the state of North Carolina. We earn commission on the properties we buy and sell, as well as those that we do for others. I also started a new business. My son and I went into business on this. I told you I don't do business with friends and relatives, but he was working for a company that did outdoor building. And I looked at that. They wanted me to invest with them in that business. I didn't want to do it because it was not well run. They had a great business, but the guy that owned it should never have owned a business. So these are the things, Superior Outdoor Spaces. We established this company in October, and we do all kinds of things in your backyard or the back of your house: pavilions, sunrooms, screen porches, fire pits, you name it. Here's some pictures from our website, which is sostriad.com. These are all things we have done since October. Screen porch, patio, the deck, the fire pit and the pavers. Screen porch, nice stairs and railings. Livable space underneath. There's a nice screened-in porch. Another deck. This is with glass railings. They've got a beautiful view, and they didn't want to disrupt it having to look through rails. So we were able to do this. This is somebody that had some money to spend, by the way. Here's a pavilion and a nice seating area and an outdoor kitchen we did. Stove, bar, all kinds of good stuff in there. This was a new construction home. We built the stairs. Actually, to the right of this is a screen porch that was built by the builder. We did a sidewalk coming down these stairs, built the retaining walls, put the fire pit in. This turned out very, very nice. This was a space between the house on the back of the house on the right and the garage on the left. Turned it into living space. To the fireplace, they added value to their home significantly. Heated square footage. Another water on this one. round pools, pergola, another outdoor kitchen. And that's what's been keeping me busy since the first of the year.
And that's a
If
lot.
I wasn't busy enough, I thought I had to work with that new business. So these
Yeah.
are the two companies that I'm actively working with, buying, selling, and doing rentals with Clearbrook Management and the outdoor living areas with Superior Outdoor Spaces. So I want to thank you guys for inviting me to speak with you again and sharing what I'm involved with. Happy if we have time to answer any questions, or if you want to give me a call afterwards sometime, I'm happy to do that as well. Tyler,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing this. And we did have some questions.
Great.
Let's see. The first one would be, would you say that it's still a seller's market right now in the Triad? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The sales continue to outpace new inventory, new listings month after month after month. Anything, I'm going to say $200,000 or less, if you've done a nice job, it's going to sell in days. You get over 200, it might take you weeks. You get up into 400,000, it might take months. But it is still anything that is, you can sell almost anything right now.
Gotcha. That company that bought from you, that wasn't Conrex, was it?
Which one?
Conrex?
The company I bought?
Yeah, no, the company that bought that house from you, the LLC that bought from you, that's buying up properties in the area.
Offhand, I don't recall.
Okay.
I'd have to look at the settlement statement. All I remember is I cashed a check from the closing attorney.
Well, I think the moral of the story is I think the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Have you heard that before?
No, but I think I have 11 or 12.
Yeah. So that's part of this whole thing, is diversifying and making sure you're getting checks from different businesses and different opportunities too.
Well, you know, if the sales market is bad, I've got rental income every month.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's diversify. You know, when I sell, if I bought it right, I can sell it right.
Right.
And sometimes that enables me to provide seller financing, which gives me a check every month for years.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to make money as a real estate investor.
Absolutely. We had another question. Do you prefer dealing with closing attorneys or title companies when performing flips or wholesale deals?
In North Carolina, you're going to close with an attorney. Not a choice.
Gotcha. Do you do any stuff outside North Carolina, or is everything in North Carolina?
Everything I have done has been in North Carolina. I've looked at a few things, but I've got plenty to do locally. And when I say North Carolina, I'm talking about the Triad. I do my work in the Triad.
Gotcha. Any suggestions for new investors that have no experience, like to help them get started?
Keep coming to the REIA meeting. Find people that have been there, experienced people that have done what you're wanting to do or think you want to do. Learn from others. You know, I've made a ton of mistakes. You know, you can learn from me. I learned from others who were before me. And find somebody to partner with. I think on your first, if you're thinking about flipping, best thing I recommend is find somebody who's been there, done that, and can guide you through it and work with you.
Right.
There's more to it than, you know, it's not like on TV. Let me just say that. HTV is fun to watch. I don't even watch it anymore, but it's great TV, but that's not real world. Find somebody to partner with, find somebody you can talk to. Hire a coach, go to the REIA, do anything you can to educate yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Many of the guys that I talk to and the gals that I talk to in the REIA, they have spent a lot of money on education, but they are getting more in returns because of that education.
I can't tell you exactly, because I really don't know to the dollar, but it is tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars I've spent on my education over 14 years. And I'll say most of that was done on the front end. I still learn. You know, I'll buy books, I'll talk to people. I've had a coach in the past. I've been a coach in the past, but learn from other people and invest in yourself. It's money well spent.
Absolutely. And then Neil wants to know if you've heard of those shade sails, you know, like the triangular things that come off of houses or decks or porches. They're pretty popular in Australia, he says.
I'm not sure I know what he's talking about.
Like with your outdoor business.
Yeah.
And you know, if you go to some of the nicer homes, they might have shade sails, so they hook to the roof line of the house.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
come out over the porch or the deck.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we've done some of those. Some of those we've put on like on some really nice houses, like over the tops of the garages. It's almost like a pergola that's extending out a couple of feet, or even maybe less than that. But it gives it a dressed, a nice dressed appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody wants to tell you thank you, and they really enjoyed the pictures, and they say you did an awesome job on that. A lot of wows, a lot of thank yous for that. Textile awnings is what he called them. NC State had a webinar on them. But yeah, so thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to Dave at those numbers and that contact information there. Otherwise, if you have more questions, we'll be back again on Thursday to have this again. So thank you all for coming. Without any further questions, we'll let everybody go. Thanks to Dave.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Dave.
You're quite welcome. May I ask who is my contact for Thursday?
It'll be me again.
Tyler and I, yeah. What?
Oh, same. We're going to do the drill over again, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Good.
I'm
Hey,
going to have some good questions for you Thursday.
I like repetition. That's why I use the same paint all the time. It's repetitive.
There you go.
I see. Well, that way, whenever you need to order more, you just give them, or you can probably look it up on your account. Do you have like a Sherwin-Williams account or a Home Depot account or something? Yeah.
I do, and Lowe's as well. I just call them up and say, I pull a file from, 123 Elm Street, and I want this and this and this and that we did in that house. I don't even go to the store. They'll pull it, and I'll come and I'll either have it delivered or I'll pick it up. I got a pickup truck. Depends on how much it is, how much stuff, how heavy it is.
Right.
But I usually have a delivery made, and I'll go to the store and pick stuff up. But a lot of times, they know what I've done, and I try to use similar things. And if they don't have it, we use something similar. Or, if it's a rental house, or if I've got a house, I have flipped. Hey, I've got Section 8 rentals, and I flipped a $500,000 house. Now, that's not the same that's not the same faucets and stuff in those two houses.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for most things, I can, use something similar, if not the same as what we've done before. Makes it easy for everybody.
Yep. And
Is there anything you'd suggest for me to change before Thursday?
No, I think all that was good. I probably ran a little long with the housekeeping stuff.
You're fine. I think you did good.
Okay, good.
It was 1:30. That was an hour-long meeting. That's perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, try to keep it within that hour. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a good target. Well, again, I'll thank you. So should we do 12:15 again? And is it the same? Is it the same link, Celeste?
No, I'm going to send you a different link.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will need the same kind of help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you did great. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll see you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.